Okay, hello once again. So today I'm going to start with the GBPUSD because, as you all know, there's a swing setup that I've been waiting for its continuation for a very long time, and the price has finally pulled back close to the point of interest that I was looking forward to, say, delivering price to. Now, if you take a closer look at GU on the weekly time frame, you can actually see that our overall swing structure is bullish, yeah, because we've had two sustained bullish breaks of structure. We had this one here, but this one is on the weekly time frame because for you to understand this narrative on the daily time frame, I need you to understand it from the higher time frame perspective. So the higher time frame with reference to the daily, we have the weekly, monthly, and the yearly time frame. In this case, I'm simply looking at the weekly time frame. So as you can clearly see, we've had this recent bullish break of structure, and the most recent one being this one here. So that gives us a bullish swing range. Now we all know that after a break of structure, our expectation should be a swing pullback, and that is why you can argue that our internal right here shifted bearish, because at this point I believe all of you have a solid understanding of market structure, and you know that the significance of internal structure with the reference to swing structure is that it signals the beginning or the end of a swing pullback. Yeah. So in this case, we had the most recent bullish boss right here, giving us a swing range to work with, made up of this weak swing high and this strong swing low down here. Now, after the bullish boss, our anticipation was for a swing pullback, and so our internal had to shift to bearish to facilitate the swing pullback. We do have a strong cause for lower prices because, one, we have this weak structural low down here on the weekly time frame. So I'll just have it. We have this weak structural low. Unless, of course, it breaks the strong internal high that we have here, then it becomes a strong structural low. Two, our objective for the swing pullback is to deliver price to this demand zone right here because it's a demand. It's a structural zone. It was formed through a sweep. It's part of a demand chain, as you can clearly see. It also has inducement just above it, and it's in the discount prices because it's at the extreme of the bullish swing range. Okay, so our objective as per the swing pullback is to deliver price to demand at the extreme right here. Now, remember, my bearish bias is purely drawn from let me say it's purely drawn from the technical analysis that I have right here. I've not factored in any fundamental analysis whatsoever. It's purely technicals. So after all that, the last thing that I need to do is to map out the previous week's high, which would be this high right here. And so the significance of me mapping the previous week's high is that it gives me a point of liquidity to target because we have tons of buy side liquidity above the previous week's high. So down to the daily time frame, where things start to become a little bit more clear. So on the daily time frame, we are bearish. So remember, the significance of the daily swing structure shifting bearish is just to facilitate the weekly swing pullback. Okay, so we had this point of interest, which is part of which is on the strong swing high. So we have a point of interest anchored to our strong structure, which is our strong swing high. It was formed through a sweep of liquidity. It's a strong structural zone because it's this high that led to the break of the weak swing low, of the weak previous swing low that we had down here. So it's also part of a demand supply chain actually, and it also has tons of inducement, as you can clearly see. Now, one thing I need you to note is that price did give us a bearish IBOS on the daily time frame. Now, you could argue that the moment you got this bearish IBOS on the daily time frame, it was a signal that the swing pullback is now most likely finished. Yeah. But if you take a look at the price action that you have right here, you can just come to the conclusion that the IBOS that we have here is just a move to induce early sellers into the market. Now, what do I mean by inducement? Inducement simply refers to something that makes a person act before they really move in the market. Yeah. So in this case, we already have a bearish eyeballs. We had a sweep of liquidity above these relative equal highs, which were significant highs in the market. And after the sweep, what have we seen? We've seen a bearish eyeballs. But if you take a look at the bearish eyeballs we have here, you'll actually notice that we don't have that much bearish commitment. Because exactly after price took out sell side below the strong internal low, because this being a low, it has some structural liquidity below it. So immediately after price took out sell side below this strong structural low, you can actually see the strong bullish reaction. So we've not seen a rejection after the sweep, but what we've seen is a reaction. Okay, there's a difference between a rejection and a reaction, but at this point, what you've seen is a reaction from the sweep. Yeah. So that would probably lead us to believing that we are going to have a fake break entry model from this point on the daily time frame. And this is where I get my swing trading idea from, because I do have a swing trade idea on GU. I don't know why nowadays I'm kind of aligned towards swing trading more. I don't know if it's because of the wins that I recently had on UJ, whatever, but I'm kind of liking it. So for purposes of journaling, you'll just allow me save this because I also have to go through it later on. But the main idea is that our swing structure is bearish, and we have a point of interest at the extreme, a very high probability point of interest. So in terms of technical analysis, we've seen price break to the downside, but we are taking this point of interest as inducement. We're not going to act from this POI. Instead, we're going to act from this point of interest above. So your entry is gonna look like this. From this point, you can either take it from here or refine it to the pivot candle, whatever. Or you can just go the inter-equity way where you just have your entry on the inducement candlestick. What do I mean by the inducement candlestick? You have your entry right here, such that when price sweeps liquidity, it also tags you into the trade. And this minimizes the chances of you missing out because of not being tagged into the trade. However, for me, I just enter on the point of interest. So my stop loss will be 150 pips. Guess it's a swing trade idea, and my target now. Remember, our objective on the weekly time frame is to deliver price to this point of interest. So you can just target the week swing low, which gives you a solid 3R. Excuse me. Then take partials at 3R or at price taking out the week swing low, because you can see recently it took out the week swing low and it delivered a pullback immediately afterwards. So you can either take a full profit at the week swing low or take some partials and extend your entry or your target to this POI here, because this is our objective from the higher time frames. So remember that technically we have a cause for lower prices. Fundamentals might change everything, but technically we are on the right. And this is the long-term trade idea that I'm looking forward to going for. So personally, I'll just target the week, the week swing low in order to give me that 3R. Then I'll just extend my entry to the week swing low down there. So this is going to be my swing trade idea on GBPUSD. So I don't trade GU that much. That's why I don't even want to go below the daily time frame. So I'll just have this swing trade idea here and then move on to focusing on our primary pairs, which are UJ and gold. So we're done with GU. There's nothing much to go through it. I just wanted to give you this swing trade idea that I had based on technicals, whatever, and yeah, all that stuff. UJ on the daily time frame, which recently gave us some very nice swing trades that all played out. We had some losses in trying to catch the same swing trades, but in the end, our winners were big enough to cover our losing trades. Yeah. So on the daily time frame, we have some very subtle break of structure, but we do have a candle body close. So mechanically, we have a bullish breakout structure right there, giving us a new bullish swing range made up of this strong swing low and perhaps a weak swing high that we'll probably see print sometime later on in the future. So for a pullback, I don't know where price will pull back to this time on the daily, but the only point of interest I have on the daily time frame is this POI here. Now, the reason why I don't have a point of interest here is because all the POIs that I have below have been slightly mitigated or fully mitigated. So I don't know, but we do have tons of low resistance sell side somewhere here, because you can see we had some lows within that are not actually achieving anything significant. So we do have some tons of low resistance sell side there, telling me that there is strong cause for lower prices. Now, why am I land bullish on UJ? It's because, let me take you guys to the weekly time frame just so you get the entire picture. When you take a look at UJ, we've been bullish for some time on the weekly time frame. We had this high whose objective was to take out this weak low, this strong low down here, but it failed. So all we had was a sweep and we did not get a candle body close. So that simply means that this high failed to complete its objective. And even before you get to this high, you have this high right here, which also failed to take out this low down here. So we have some weak structural highs above that I'm simply looking to target long term. The most immediate high that I'm looking to deliver price to or to take out is this weak structural high before eventually price taking out this high up here. That's why I'm aligned bullish on UJ on the higher time frames. Now, one thing that is specific to UJ, because I trade primarily UJ and gold, UJ will more often, not even more often, UJ will always pull back to a higher time frame point of interest. It will always pull back to a higher time frame point of interest. So, yeah, this is what I have on the daily time frame on UJ. To cut the long story short, then let's drop down to the 4H. I will just build on that narrative. So 4H. Now on the 4H, this is my swing range, but I think I'm gonna have to reset my swing structure to this piece of price action that I'm having as my internal structure currently, just to help me manage my expectations and also help me focus on the most recent price action. Now, the only downside to resetting your price action on UJ in such a case is because on the 4H we do have a very valid point of interest, and you can see the tons of low resistance sell side. So there is a strong cause for lower prices back all the way to the extreme. So if I reset my swing structure, you'll actually see that by the time price gets to this point of interest, my swing structure will have shifted bearish. However, at that point in time, that shouldn't matter because then I'll be following the daily swing structure. So that is something that you have to keep in mind, okay? So in terms of resetting my swing structure, this is what you're gonna have. So I usually take time mapping my swing structure, so just be patient with me. This is my current active bullish swing range. My overall target, you can see the purple dotted line over here, horizontal ray actually, which is the weak structural high from the weekly time frame. So this is my strong swing low. I'll just label it there for whatever. So strong swing low. We had some recent it takes me time to do this because I like it and my annotations are neat and can be followed clearly. So okay, there's this swing trade that is still running on UJ. This one here overall. This is where I got my all the long ideas that I had for longs on UJ, because it's based on targeting that week ultimate week high up there. Now, I have this point of interest here, and I also have this point of interest here. So if price is to make a continuation and respect this bullish swing range that I have, then I want to see this point of interest hold. However, you can see that it's a POI, it's kind of a range. So I kind of expect price to sweep sell side below these relative equal lows that you have within the point of interest. That is a characteristic that is mostly common to gold. So I expect price to kind of sweep sell side below the relative equal lows before giving us the bullish move or the bullish continuations. If not, then this is the point of interest that I'm anticipating price to eventually pull back to. This is a flip zone because it did flip this area of supply. So we could actually see it hold, but let's just sit on our hands, wait and watch. Now, we might have some shorts on UJ just to play the dailies in pullback and the 4Hs in pullback. So yeah, and I don't drop below the M30 because I kind of realized that day trading UJ is quite messy, honestly. So let's see. I think I'm gonna have to reset my swing structure on UJ as well, because there's no way I'm gonna have the same swing structure on the M15 and on the 4H. It doesn't work well for me. Oh, I forgot to map my internal structure on the 4H. Wow. So let me just map my internal structure on the 4H. So that high, we have this high up here. I was supposed to do a breakdown of these trades that you see here, so I'll do that later on when I actually have the free time to do so given my examinations. I currently have some examinations incoming, so right now I'm kind of in Okoa same mode. That's what we call it in Kenya. So I'll just have to my trading frequency and time spent on trading is gonna have to be reduced to some extent, I guess. Not that much, but I just have to cut it down and focus on studying. So my strong swing low down there. Price already swept buy side above the previous week's high. So we have sell side below the Asian low down here and buy side above the Asian high. Let me just look at something on the 1H. Okay. So we have this point of interest, this one here, but it's from a weak structural low because this Asian low did not take out the weak internal high. So we might see price give us some bearish move. I just don't know from where it will do so, but we might see price give us some bearish move. And if it does so, then I'm looking forward to catching the move that will lead to price mitigating this point of interest. I believe it's stacked within our 4H POI. Let me just check that. I'll make this visible on the M15. M30 actually. Yes, it is. So good work. Good work. Now on UJ, the move I'm looking forward to catching is this move downwards. This move downwards here. That's what I'm looking for. How price delivers to that, I have no idea. I literally have no idea. But technically, let me just break it down clearly. So let me break it down clearly. Now, if you take a look at the price action we have here, this is my current active bullish swing range made up of this strong swing low and a weak swing high somewhere up here. Yeah. So we had this weak internal high and we have this strong internal low. So our internal structure was bullish as well, and we were looking to catch the movement upwards that will give us the next bullish internal range. However, this low that mitigated this point of interest failed to complete its objective, which was to take out the weak internal high. So what does that tell us about this low down here structurally? It tells us that we have a weak structural low, which also happens to be an Asian low. So what do we have? We have tons of sell side below this low down here. Also, we are expecting to play the swing pullback because after break of structure, expect a swing pullback. So I think there is cause for me to reset my internal structure just to make short phase C. Yes, definitely. So why am I resetting my internal structure? You can actually see that we had a sweep of liquidity above this weak internal high, and order flow kind of shifted bearish after the sweep. So there is cause for lower prices. So I'm resetting my internal structure. So this actually shows us that the internal pullback, the swing pullback, sorry about that, is now at play because in IBOS signals the beginning or the end blah 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 blah. So we do have a weak structural low, and also yeah, I've explained the logic behind that, and it's also a session low, so there's tons of sell side below it actually. Now, how price delivers to that, I have no idea at the moment. Is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a point of interest that I can make the entry from. So let me do this. Mhm. Then on UJ, I'm bearish on UJ. Guys, I'm bearish on UJ. I'm looking to deliver price to this point of interest. Target sell side below this Asian low, below this Asian low here, and below the previous day's low. Yes, yes, yes. Now all I gotta do is look for a point of interest that I'll use to deliver to that objective. So you have this fractal point of interest here, and you have this flip zone right here, a fractal flip zone. Nice, nice. So we could see price either make a continuation from this POI above, or just sweep. I don't know, but I'm bearish. As of now, I still don't have a clear signal yet, but I'm bearish. If I get the clear signal, believe me, I'm going in. I'm going in. Shola Exam, I see you've raised your hand. Let me just unmute you and hear what you have to say. Allowed to speak. Yes, you're allowed to speak, Shola Exam. If you have anything to say, that is. So after you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I have a question about your lower time frame execution, and like which time frame do you use for lower time frame execution, and then which engine model do you normally use?
Okay, so I do trade photon and I use the photon entry models. But my entry differs. How I enter on gold is not similar to how I enter on UJ, but the models are the same. On gold, I can drop to the M5, but on UJ, I don't go below the M30. If I drop too much, it's the M15 maximum on UJ. So it differs, but the models are the same all across. I use the LC1 find, and I use the confirmation entry POI, and the confirmation entry sweep plus change of character. As simple as that. Three entry models.
Okay, thanks.
Great. So after UJ, let's check on gold. After UJ, I want to check on gold. Now, sometime back, Goldman Sachs had an expectation of gold hitting 4,500, or let me just say, I don't know, 4,000 or 4,000, something like that, before the end of 2026. However, gold has hit that target before the end of quarter one of 2026. So I think they might have to revise that. But as for me, I have an overall target of 5,000. I'm looking forward to gold trading at 5,000 US dollars per whatever it trades on. So, what does that mean? I have some key psychological levels. One, I have 4,700, because you can clearly see that after hitting some, let's say 4,500, 4,000, it hits and gives some kind of pullback. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to, my overall target is 5,000 right here, but I'm looking forward to using these other key psychological levels as primary, secondary take profit levels. Yeah. But my overall target is 5,000. Now, before we get too excited with that target, let's actually see what's happening on the ground. One, we do have a demon's mark on today's candlestick because it doesn't have a low. However, if you check on the microgold features, the microgold futures, we do have a low. So there is really no cause for spot gold to manipulate lower in order to give us a low of the day, because we already have a low on micro gold futures. Okay, so one, you can already see that we have some kind of candle body close, because today's candle has not yet closed. So if it closes, if it delivers a candle body close above this high, then we'll have a new bullish swing range made up of one, this low and the weak high that we'll have up there. In terms of points of interest, it's important for you to note that one, we do have this immediate flip zone, which is also a structural zone. And two, we have this structural zone down here and a sweep zone, because it was formed through a sweep, and it also caused a bullish change of character. So this point of interest above could actually act as inducement for this POI below. But given the kind of momentum that you're seeing in the market, I don't really expect a deeper pullback. Say, I expect this point of interest to be respected and push price higher. But on the worst case scenario, we do have some relative equal lows below, which obviously have tons of sales, low resistance sell side. In this case, I won't call it low resistance, I'll just call it sell side, which price might actually target. So we do have a cause for lower prices, and all you have to do is wait for the market to give us clear signals of where it's actually headed and what it's actually going to do. Because one thing about it is that the market will always show you what it's going to do. The only problem with us is that at times we tend to overreact and do things in our own ways, yeah. So just sit on your hands and wait for price to give you a clear signal. Now, there's one thing about said I said on UJ, about UJ. I said on UJ about a point of interest or some range. In this case, if you take a look at this point of interest on gold, you'll actually see that we had some kind of range right here. It was not a POI formed through just one or two pivot candles, but formed through by several candlesticks. So we did have some kind of range here. Now, if you take a closer look at it, you'll realize that price swept some sort of sell side liquidity within the range or within the point of interest before making a continuation. Now, what do I mean by that? When trading gold, do not take such a point of interest and leave the fractal lows below uncovered. Like, don't just have your stop loss, say, on this point of interest alone. Just don't be greedy with that stop loss. Just take the entire, say, range like that, because price will most likely sweep sell side within the range before making the continuation. That is what I was referring to. So yeah, bullish bulls. If today's candle closes bullish and a flip zone right here, and so yeah, just giving an outline of whatever it is I'm expecting. So I'll just have this here. Okay, so down to the 4H, down to the 4H. 4H. Now on the 4H, our swing structure now is bullish. We have two POIs. One, we have this one at this point. Now this one seems to be more high probability since it's stacked within the higher time frame POI. It's a structural zone. It has inducement. It's a flip zone because it did flip this area of demand. Blah blah blah. All those. It has the confluences of a nice point of interest. Yeah. And then you have this one at the extreme. But we can't really know for sure. So all we gotta do is just watch price. Watch price. Don't go about predicting price and stuff. Just react to whatever price shows you. Reactionary trading is way better than predictionary trading. So yeah, the strong swing low down there. Hmm. Okay. So down to the M15. Now look for say some kind of trade idea. Now what do we have on the M15? We do have buy side above the Asian high, which has not been swept. Swing structure is bullish. Okay, and now liquidity has been swept. So this is my strong swing low. Um, okay, and I think we'll probably have a new swing range right here. So all I'm waiting for is to see if price will deliver a candle body close, and then if it delivers a candle body close, we'll have this point of interest to play continuations with. Now all you gotta understand is at this point is that you can actually get your fingers burnt trying to follow momentum because we do not know when the strong bullish momentum will come to an end or will get exhausted and order flow will shift bearish. All you're doing at this point is speculating that the bullish momentum will just keep on going, yeah. But don't be greedy with your targets. You can't just enter from here and target all the way to say 4,700. I don't think it could actually work that way. It can't be that easy. It can't be that easy with gold. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm waiting for a candle body close above that high to see if we'll have a new swing range. Because if we do, then I'll be looking to follow that bullish whatever and target the next week high right there. I'll just target a fixed 3R and let it play out as it will. UJ, I already told you guys I have a bearish bias on UJ. But then with UJ, don't go being so aggressive because one thing I've come to learn about this is that aggressiveness will never pay you on UJ. Just be patient and be conservative. In this case, let price give us a new leg. Say, let's just get a candle body close below this low, and then use an LC1 entry model from this point of interest right here. Target sell side below the previous day's low. There's just so much room to target. So be patient. Be patient. Don't let FOMO make you take an early entry when you have. Now, if you take a closer look, you'll actually realize that price failed to mitigate that flip zone that you have up there because you do have a flip zone right here. Did it mitigate it? Let me just check if price mitigated our flip zone. So it failed to do so. And if you take a closer look, we have some relative equal highs. So we have, if you look at the whatever the bio in my channel, you'll see the types of liquidity listed there. And it's very clear that you have eccentric liquidity right here because you have relative equal highs that are just below our point of interest. So there are a lot of orders sitting right here. So it's the inducement or say the liquidation of those orders that I'm looking to enter with targeting the lows down there. So yes. 1H, was it mitigated on the 1H? Was it? No, it was not. So it's just so clear. It's just so clear. Nice. Guys already have a point of interest that we're looking to enter from. Back on gold. Let's see if we get that candle body close. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna have to share these markups with the people in the channel who are not able to join and the people in the Discord server. So in case of anything, just unmute and speak or ask whatever the question you have. Yeah, so let me just get to it.